Hi everybody, welcome back to Daily Dose at Home. My name is Lauren and I'm part of the visitor engagement team here at the Calgary Zoo. Today we are talking about one of my favorite things, biodiversity. What does that word even mean? Biodiversity refers to all of the living things that are in a part of the world. So all the plants, all the animals, all the little fungi, all the bacteria, everything that might be living in one place. And there are some really amazing biodiverse places on our planet. We think of places like Madagascar, where lemurs live, and there are all kinds of different species living there. We think about Australia, and there are animals that live there that live nowhere else on our planet. Did you know we also have a lot of biodiversity here in our own backyards? We have all kinds of species of mammal, birds, reptiles, insects, plants, living just steps away from where we live here in Calgary. And it's really important that we work together to do what's best to protect the biodiversity of our planet. Some of those places are in a little bit of trouble. We call them biodiversity hotspots. It's an interesting term because it means an area that has both a lot of species that live nowhere else on the planet, but is also a little bit in danger. Madagascar is a really good example of that. There are some animals like lemurs on Madagascar that don't live anywhere else on our planet, and they're at risk of extinction. So it's really important that we're working hard to restore that critical habitat and maintain that biodiversity. Now, there are parts of the world that have some really interesting types of biodiversity, and I'm standing here in front of the cichlid fish habitat. Most people come into the rainforest building and they make a beeline to see the gorillas, which are really cool and amazing. But we have one of the best examples of biodiversity right here. Cichlid fish come from Africa, and they had something happen to them. It's called an adaptive radiation. That's a really big and intense term, but what it means is there are over 2,000 species of cichlid fish that live in a series of lakes in Central Africa. What's happened is they have been able to take over every type of lifestyle. We call that an ecological niche. That means there are fish that are predators, fish that are herbivores, fish that are scavengers. They live at the top of the water and the bottom of the water. What's cool is they have different teeth and different skulls because they have adapted and radiated into every type of habitat in those lakes. So we want to protect that biodiversity. And we can actually do some really cool things from here in Canada at home while we're social distancing. Have you ever heard of citizen science? That's where you, as a citizen of our planet, can participate in super cool research projects that are going on all over the world. There are some websites that you can click on and you can actually do some of this amazing science work right from in your house or in your neighborhood. And I'm going to tell you about a few of them today. And then for your daily at-home activity, you can click on the PDF with links to all kinds of really cool citizen science projects that are happening. There's a really neat site called iNaturalist. And iNaturalist will help you learn how to capture the biodiversity of what's going on wherever you live in the world. So you can go out on a nature walk and document and photograph all of the different animals and plants that you see and share it with them. There are actually really cool projects that are going on here in Calgary that help Calgary understand our urban biodiversity. That's the biodiversity that lives in our city. But you can also use iNaturalist from wherever you live on the planet. Super cool. There's also a really neat site called Zooniverse, and this helps with participating in projects that use camera trapping. Remember a few weeks ago when we talked about mountain bongo and how our research teams working in Kenya are trying to capture mountain bongo on cameras to know that they've been there? Well, those types of camera trapping projects are happening all over the world for some of the species that we care for, like sage grouse and burrowing owls, or even gorillas. You can go to Zooniverse and you can be part of the action. You can be part of that science and count and help them identify animals that are in all of those pictures. So here at home, in Canada, around the world, we're all part of this global science community. And when you become a citizen scientist, you are actually helping save species. Isn't that cool? Thank you so much for learning a little bit more about biodiversity today, and thanks to the cichlid fish for helping me talk about adaptive radiation. I just think that's the coolest word ever. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Dose at Home today, and thank you for supporting wildlife conservation.